a second, wasted no time. Heather Reckless coming from the back, and now paintbrushing Sierra with repeated shots to the chest.
Of course, no love lost between these two.
You know, this ain't Heather by elegance.
Nope.
Stepping into this ring. This is
Heather by recklessness.
Yeah, this is the Devil's Little Princess.
Yeah.
Slapping Sierra on the mouth, sliding to the outside, and now looking the power bomber to the floor. Oh, Sierra gets her boot caught and goes face first into that unforgiving ring apron.
That's how you make an impact.
Speaking of impacts, September 13th, we know that AAW Heritage Championship now going to be defended. Robert Ego Anthony, Isaiah Moore, one-on-one. Oh, and a chop to the chest, Sierra.
Yeah, Riot Fest season going to start a little bit early here in Chicago.
Well, you want to talk about Riot? I just got. Hey, wait a second.
You getting something in your ear? What do you got?
I'm getting breaking news into my headset right now. August 9th. They said you want to announce something for September. How about you announce something for August? Hartenbauer, Hamilton, one-on-one. If Hartenbauer wins, 5 minutes in the ring alone with John, capital letter E, period, Bravo.
Alexa, play Pantera.
Oh, the Bravo family may have just bit off a little bit more than they could chew, Kevin Kellum.
Oh, man. You want to talk about a guy who wants revenge. And I mean, drive that in. I'm talking about the mean ex you knew from high school, and you want someone to do something mean to them, right? This is... Oof.
Chin first into that top turnbuckle. Go Sierra.
That top turnbuckle has not been kind to any of the female competitors tonight. But no, obviously, Hartenbauer, Bravo.
Oh my God, Sierra throws a haymaker and collides with Heather Reckless, sending her to the floor, writhing in pain. Yeah, tickets are going to be available at aawpro.com. Follow us on our social media channels for when those are available. August 9th, Hamilton, Hartenbauer. Hartenbauer wins 5 minutes alone with John, capital letter E, period, Bravo.
A man who tormented him, a man who threw him away like trash when he had that injury and that torn bicep. A man who turned him into an errand boy, but now he's going to have a whole lot more of a problem than an errand.
Now, and you got to think, obviously, you talk about...
Derek, you got to check on her, please.
This is just a different Sierra than we were used to seeing as the AAW Women's Championship. There was something that changed in her during the midst of that championship reign, where she started to believe these evil ways again. And for Heather Reckless, this could be, you may be biting off way more than you can chew.
Yeah. The only thing he's biting right now is that Sting guardrail that is getting a lot of work. Let me tell you, these guardrails are getting some work here in Berwyn.
Shout out Merlin, rentawrestlingring.com.
There you go. Rent a spinal contusion. That's basically what you get.
Yeah, you ain't renting that. You're buying that outright because you're not able to return it.
Rent and dent a body is more like it. That's what we're getting here.
Snapmares are over. Sierra. And now runs in with a drop kick. Reckless is down. Sierra goes for a quick cover. Only able to get the count of two. And obviously we know later on tonight, Maggie Lee defends that championship against Laney Luck. And you got to think both, Heather Reckless and Sierra are going to be watching that contest.
Oh, look
whichever one can survive this contest might be next in line for that AAW Women's Championship.
Look at the indignant head slaps there when you're in a top position.
Oh, Sierra doing her best Barry Horowitz impression.
I don't think anyone wants to pat her on the back.
Sierra saying, this is quick work, this is easy. This is a night off.
Obviously, a lot of bad blood between these two people. Heather was one of those competitors that Sierra had to get through to get to that AAW Women's Championship. And it was not an easy road for her. But obviously, Heather didn't want to come back here, being on national TV, coming back home and not having any grit and determination. She did that right away. Didn't even do the full entrance. Came out and attacked right away. So here we are right away. But I think really, once again, those guardrails are slowing someone down to that.
And now the knee to the shin, into the spinal column of Heather Reckless.
And this is Sierra's pace. Slow it down, grab a hold, grind someone, torque them out, get mean. She fights from down onto an opponent. That's her.
Oh! Heather firing up from underneath. Kicks her in the sternum. Nobody home. Oh, drop down. Sends her head first into that top turnbuckle and runs in with a European uppercut. And now Reckless hits the ropes full steam ahead. Eat it! Painted on the side of the head of Sierra.
She has it written on the bottom of her shoes, too.
Puts her down. We got an upset Bruin here at the win.
You know, Heather, you may think, oh, the size. She's on the smaller side. But I've seen her hang in there with our AAW Tag Team Champions and outdrink them and outfight them. She is tougher than any of the boys out here, but doesn't matter how tough you are. You take one of those suplexes on your head, you're going to stay down for a minute.
Saito suplex followed by shotgun knees in the corner. Sierra now pulls her out to center ring. But Heather Reckless rolls that left shoulder off the mat.
The face of Heidi Lovelace looking over her shoulder there. One of the many greats on the banners here at AAW, over 20 years of history.
Now you want to talk about the foundation of women's athletes here in AAW. Your Heidi Lovelaces, your Jessica Havoc, the first AAW women's champion. You know, you're talking Mischief. The list goes on and on. Now Sierra. Setting her up for something that's certainly impending doomsday. She scales the buckles in her own right. You know, think about this. Sierra, you know, to win that AAW Women's Championship, she went through Masha Slamovich. Whew.
One of the toughest women ever, you know, just a tank of a human being.
Heather, somehow, some way, able to evade that attack.
Reckless gonna get on that top rope. Throw it all out there.
Keep your eyes on the Devil's Little Princess. And a double stomp to the back. Reckless goes for the cover, hits the leg. Ooh, a split second away was Sierra.
Sucking the air, blowing it all out on the 26th Street here in Berwyn Eagles Club. Ooh. Oh, they're going to trade him back and forth here.
You know, both these athletes, underrated strikers.
Absolutely. Oh, there's nothing underrated like that.
Oh, and now Heather Reckless firing up. Combination of offense, but it's Sierra trying to stop her dead in her tracks. Catches her with a back elbow. Oh, can't evade that one. Step up, Enziguri stuns her, sends her back into the far buckles.
Heather really benefiting when she gets that distance.
Oh!
But
shades of Joey Avalon, Sierra with a claymore.
Yeah, she learned that from somebody, didn't she?
Yeah.
Obviously, her associate.
Checking her teeth, making sure that they're all still intact. Yeah. Her associate, you know, going to be in action later on tonight.
Absolutely, I was getting to that. Obviously, Joey Jet Avalon and that big nasty man Roberts, Aaron, going to be available to take on the AAW Tag Team Champions, Shaft and Russ Jones, later on tonight in this broadcast.
Waistlock go behind, catches her, but it's Reckless. Back up to her feet, catching her on the back of the head. Both athletes down.
There we go. Don't let an extension hold you back.
Yeah. There's one thing I know, you don't mess with a woman who takes her extension out.
No. I've seen a fight like this in a beauty supply store. It's nasty.
Spears her out of her Nikes. And a running knee strike puts her down, and it's Sierra going for the cover, but Reckless able to kick out. Short pile driver stuns her.
Nasty.
And just like that, no!
Look at the face. Look at the face there on Sierra. She was shocked. She was sure she had him. She was sure she had that pinfall right there. Look at the indignant argument here with the referee. Hands on the ref. Bad idea. Come on, get it together.
Sierra needs to recollect her calm, recollects her cool. You can't take it out on Dan Perch. He's just there to count the 1, 2, 3.
I wouldn't take anything out on Dan Perch.
Oh, inside cradle from Reckless as she stacks her with the cover. Oh, hell!
What's it? We get a 3 count? We get a 3 count there?
10 minutes, 37 seconds, your winner, the Devils